show the audience where this guy has been.
Aero Mongo. What the?
Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to the full sea trial video. I'm with my mate Blaine. This is going to be a two-man operation. So we're going to go from dead ship. We're going to work together, Blaine.
Yep.
And we're going full dead ship mode. Then we're going to be taking the boat out for a cruise. We will be deploying the tender. We're going to go through hopefully everything you need to know to run this boat and give you the full experience as to what it will be like for yourself, your partner, and or your crew. So come with us. We are in dead ship mode. We're just going to get straight into the action. Beautiful day here on the Gold Coast. Hoping we don't get too much rain, but we'll see what happens. Okay, Blaine, run us through.
All right, so first we come on and we obviously need to get the lights going so we can see what's going on. So we will flick all of these lights on. We don't need the courtesy lights. That's for nighttime running.
And this is our 24 volt panel.
Yeah, and we've got our shore power. We've got two shore power leads as well. Mm-hmm. So these are our retractors, our glendinning system. So we'll turn them on because we'll do that shortly as well. And that's all good.
That's all individually marked in English, and this is the bilge system, so that stays on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's good. Let's come over to this panel. Marley, you can probably see it from there.
I'll try to open that one for you. So we just start flicking everything on. For refrigerators stay on, obviously.
So this is 240 volt. What do we do if we're an American to deal with 110 volt?
This boat's actually got a isolation transformer that accepts 60 hertz and 110.
Okay, cool.
So you can plug straight in. It'll then go straight into the inverters and you just run the boat as normal.
Okay, perfect. So just keep flicking everything on.
Yeah. And then aircon, we'll just set a few of them up. We're just on shore power at the moment, so we don't want to overload and trip the shore power. But once we turn a generator on and start moving, we can flick everything on and it won't overload it too much.
Yep.
Now we'll head up to the pilot house and start setting up the bridge.
All right.
So flick our panel lights on.
I'll let you get in there so everyone can see.
3 MFD displays. We're running time zero navigation, ARPA radar. Just pay attention to what's going on. We'll leave our stabilizers and hydraulic system off for now.
We'll use them later in the video.
Yep. DC power, NMEA connections, camera connections for our monitoring of our engine room while we're underway. Then we've got our blowers. I've just turned the lazarette blowers on. We've got our engine room blowers. We have already vented the engine room, so we'll just keep that off for now. Alrighty.
Okay.
Now we're just coming on, turning on all of our systems. Wait for everything to power up.
So that's activating all the multifunctional displays using power.
Then
so we've checked the dipsticks on both main engine and wing engine already.
Yep. So we're good to start up once we power everything up. We've got obviously a centerline John Deere 425 horsepower main engine. We do have a wing engine, which is a completely auxiliary system as well.
And we're going to require the wing engine for hydraulics power today.
Yeah, so there's two PTOs on the boat. One obviously is on the main engine that powers stabilisation underway, and it does operate all of the thrusters and everything as well. It can do that. But for manoeuvring, we start up the wing engine, keep it in neutral, up at around 2,000 RPM, and that gives it, and that PTO on that wing engine gives us extra hydraulic pressure, so it makes the thrusters more manoeuvrable and whatnot.
Okay. So when we're ready, let's go through main engine startup.
Alrighty. So Wait till she jumps to life. Now we select the station, which main engine, wing engine. So we've now selected the station, now we can press start. There we go.
Okay.
Alrighty. Now, hydraulic system. So these light up once the PTOs are engaged. So main engine is on. We can flick our hydraulics on. And so main engine always stays engaged when the main engine is on. You can flick it off if you like.
Yep.
But then if we do need to engage the PTO on the wing engine, that does need to be done manually up there.
Okay.
So happy to start the wing.
Yep. So do we now need to take control of the wing?
Yep. So what we do is flick that on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till she jumps to life. Select. Now we've selected the second engine.
Okay, so that's now telling us that we
have command.
Okay.
Yep. Start the wing. Now, to put her into neutral, we just hold the command button.
Mm-hmm.
Go into gear, and the neutral will start flashing. Now we know we're in gear.
Okay.
We're just over 500 RPM, so we'll bring that up because she needs a little bit of warming up and she starts running a bit smoother.
And so now we're just going to let the engines idle and let the main engine warm up.
Yep.
What temperature do we want the main engine to be hovering at before we start to leave the dock? Probably about 75 C, I would imagine.
Around about that, yeah. Before we really want to start manoeuvring, we want to make sure everything's warmed up and oils are everywhere in the right spots.
So now is our opportunity to utilise this time whilst we are idling. We can check that we've got water flow coming out the back of the boat, and then we'll start making our plan to leave the dock.
So, interestingly, the wing engine is water cooled.
Right.
And the main engine is keel cooled.
Keel cooled, so
Yeah.
we don't see that on this boat.
Exactly.
Good spot. Okay, all right, so basically we have to just have a good eye on the gauges.
Exactly.
Because we're not actually looking for flow like I would normally be thinking on a traditional boat.
Exactly
on the
right. It's
channel.
always a good idea to go down once we've started everything up as well. Like obviously systems and water is pumping, so we should go down to the engine room and have a look around as well.
Cool, let's do that.
Cool.
Where can we see that the water is pumping on this engine?
This one, there is no water pumping. So the tri-exhaust, but the wing engine.
No, but I mean, there must be coolant going from here into the keel. Is there a way that we can see it? Or is that not necessary?
No, not really.
It's not necessary.
Because it's just a closed loop.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so now we don't need the generator, but we're going to operate. We have two generators.
Yep, so we've got a 27 kilowatt generator and an 11 kilowatt generator.
And we want air conditioning today.
We do,
it's
but yeah, exactly. So we do want the boat nice and cold, but we can operate the boat without a generator. There's two 175 amp alternators on the main engine.
Yep.
So that runs most of the boat anyways.
Okay, all right. So we've it does a preheat. It's just start-stop on this one. We've turned on the 27, and then basically you can see the power. I think just point that out to everyone.
Yeah, so we've got our power input there and what we're receiving. We are still hooked up to shore power, so we are receiving 230 in from the dock as well.
But
now we've gone down to our selectors down here, and we've selected, we're taking from our 27 kilowatt generator, and this is distributing through the boat now. So now we're ready to disconnect shore power.
let's do it.
All right. We'll take this with us.
It's good that you could still step on at the stern like this. That's actually not too difficult.
Okay.
We just got our little adapter there, Dan.
Yep. Okay. All right. That's relatively manageable. Okay.
Oh, let me help you there.
You know what? It's actually still a one-man job. Look at that.
Do you want to come around here?
Okay. Shore power in there, do you reckon?
Yeah, we can put it in there.
Yep.
So this is the Glendinning system. So we've got 2 shore power cables here.
Okay.
So this is what we turned on, the retractors
Uh-huh.
in there. So if we just hold this up and sort of help feed it in.
Yep.
Oh, geez.
And these big thick cables, it's also to facilitate US power because they're all this size in America.
Exactly.
Okay, so main engine and wing engine is idling. We have all the lines connected still to the dock. Shore power is off, so we want to do a systems check before we depart with the lines.
Yep, so what we'll do is we'll bring the wing engine now up to operating RPM. It's around recommended 2,000 to 2,300 RPM.
So that's giving us the hydraulic pressure, in excess hydraulic pressure that we need.
Exactly. So now I've opened the PTO on the wing engine.
Uh-huh.
So now we've got all our hydraulic pressure, and I just need to open the thruster control here as well. So I'll just press start.
Start. Green light on.
Green light station enabled.
Okay, let's do a little test thrust.
Okay, so variable speed as well. So you can set and select.
So it will actually, if you set it, it will actually stay
Exactly.
there in position. That's
Exactly.
worth pointing out.
So if you are coming in and you needed to, for some reason, leave the control station on the wing station, you can hold yourself up against the dock.
Yep. So if it's blow off situation, that makes sense.
Exactly. All right, so we're good to go there. Steering, we do have a rudder indicator here on our autopilot.
Okay, 0 is center.
So
Starboard 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got an indicator here showing us. So quite a few turns to full lock, but you'd expect that on a boat of this size. And
we'll come back to midships.
And then obviously it's going to be hydraulic, so it's actually not a lot of pressure for you here at the helm.
Not at all, no.
Yeah.
Come over again. All right.
Okay, so we've got full lock to starboard and port.
And back to midships.
All right.
One thing you do need to make sure you do just on this boat, obviously you can option with follow-ups on your wing station controls. This boat doesn't have any rudder control from the wing stations. So,
Got it.
So always make sure that the rudder's centered in here, and then I'll go out to the wing station.
Okay.
And I'll turn with the thrusters.
Copy that. As you can see, all our lines are still connected to the dock, so we're doing this deliberately before we depart.
So thruster control, I need to select this station. So now I've got operation here. And station select for the main engine, and I've selected that. So we'll just go a little bump ahead and a little bump astern.
Yep.
There is a little bit of a delay. So that's ahead,
Okay, that's engaging.
and that's astern.
All right.
Alrighty. I just noticed when we were doing the stern thruster test there, it sometimes can get air in the tube, just the way it's configured.
Yep.
But there is a bleed line down the lazarette, so let's go down and we'll just better safe than sorry, right?
I'm 100% safe. Then sorry, let's bleed it. Then that's why we do our systems checks.
So also a good idea is to come down here and check your steering gear, make sure there's no leaks. We've obviously just done our test.
Yep.
Full lock, port and starboard, so we'll just do a visual inspection. There's no leaks anywhere, so all that's good. Stern thruster tube, we do have a bleed line here, so if there is an airlock in here, it can reduce the thrust. So we just crack that.
and no air came out. So there wasn't a lock in there.
Right.
But it can happen if you're doing an out of water period, or if you do get stuck in some heavy seas. Sometimes it just pays to come
get a
out here
big
and bleed.
air bubble in the tube, and then
Yeah.
obviously you get cavitation instead of water moving, and we want
Exactly,
water
yeah.
moving. Yep, makes sense. Cool. All right, Blaine, so we've set up our little walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I'm going to launch the drone in a second, but before we cast off, we just want to remember that we've got more boat in the water as opposed to on the water, like in a lot of my videos. So we're thinking more about the tide
Exactly.
as opposed to the wind.
Exactly. So yeah, and a boat like this, it carries a lot of inertia as well. So everything's going to be moving a lot slower. Single engine, obviously, so manoeuvring's a little bit different. We're going to be using a lot of thrusters.
Yep.
And we've just checked our lines now. We're holding pretty tight on our forward leading spring.
Yep.
So we've decided that that's going to be our last line we release. We've got a boat not too far in front of us there. We don't want to start making way towards them.
Yep.
Once we get the lines off, we'll drop that last line and we'll thrust out.
We've got the choice of multiple stations. We actually have a wing station back aft, but you've obviously, for obvious reasons, you're going to use the one on the port side.
Yeah, so there's actually 6 driving stations, or 5 operating stations, and an emergency throttle control down in the engine room as well.
So 2 wings upstairs, the bridge and the fly bridge.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and the emergency throttle, but would that also be for servicing?
Servicing, yeah, for mechanical down, if you've got a mechanic down there,
Yep.
or if you want to run the temperatures up before you change oil, then yeah.
All right, let's do this. I'll launch the drone. Might as well just keep that camera rolling, Marley, so everyone can see what's happening. And
Okay, I'll head up to the wing station.
you head up to the wing station. I'll talk to you on the walkie-talkie. I'll just position this so everyone can get a view. Okay, let's turn that on. And I'll just let this drone hover so everyone gets the shot. That should capture everything. I'll let that do its thing now. Okay, can I get a price check on aisle 2, thanks? Nordhavn N68.
Loud and clear, Dan.
Okay, mate, so I'm going to, starting at the bow, I'm going to release and work my way back. We're leaving that midships forward spring. Okay.
Dan, I'm going to come down to the foredeck and pull the lines up once you release them.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Stand by, I'm feeding that round to you. Okay, that's yours. Make sure there's no knots. Okay, that's all 3.
Yep.
And that's 3.
Yep.
Okay. Going to the stern, obviously leaving that springer on as discussed.
I'm standing by on wing station.
Okay. Copy that. I'll start releasing the stern. Okay. Alrighty, so I have one line going back. Almost ready, mate. I'm just going to be stepping on with all the line at the stern, so just be ready on the stern thruster.
Copy that.
Just trying to tidy it up so I don't
Dan,
have
did you press play on this GoPro?
No, thank you. I'll turn that on now. And if you can press play on yours.
Yeah.
Just don't want to have a dog's breakfast, so if I just organise it, it'll be easier for me later. Okay. Coming through. Okay, that's fine. I'll turn that on. Okay. It's nice having this door here. Okay, mate, I'm ready to take off this last line. Are you ready?
Yeah, copy that. Drop the port spring.
Okay. Spring coming off now.
Clear to manoeuvre.
Okay, mate, all lines clear.
Copy that. Coming off.
All clear astern, Dan.
All clear at the stern, mate, all clear.
Alright, Dan, I'm ready to leave the wing station and head back into the pilot house.
Copy that, mate. I'll retrieve the drone, then I'll start tidying up the fenders. Okay, Blaine's heading into the pilot house, and I'll get this drone in and we'll secure the fenders.
Right, so just starting to head down the channel now. So finish manoeuvring, we can bring the wing slowly back down to idle speed before shutting down. So in idle, turn off our PTO, and we can shut the wing down. But we've still got hydraulics running from the main engine, and we can turn on our stabiliser system now, which will bring our track ABT system up. We've got two fins on the side, 12 square foot each, so you do get a lot of righting moment. So close thrusters, activate. So now we've got stabilisation.
Okay, so mate, plan for the day. We're underway. Lines and fenders are stowed. Actually, I just flicked the fenders in because it's not too complicated on this one. There's some friends. We're on the Gold Coast, by the way, if you didn't notice from the previous video. Beautiful place, very boating friendly. So mate, we're gonna go find a location where we can drop anchor. We'll show everyone how the whole anchoring system works. We'll bring them along for the ride, and then we're going to focus on deploying the tender.
Okay.
Because I've never actually seen someone. I watched plenty of Nordhavn videos, but I want to know how to safely deploy the tender.
Let's do it.
Let's do that, and then later on we're going to go out into the ocean.
Fantastic.
Cool. So exiting the dock seemed, from my perspective, looking through the drone, seemed pretty controllable. The boat didn't really run away from us. I didn't have any dramas getting on and off or communicating with you. I think the radios is a good idea.
Yeah, marriage savers we call them.
Okay.
So like as I said before, the boat carries a lot of inertia, so I just had to make sure that the rudders were centered.
Yep.
Because there was no rudder controls at the wing stations, but the amount of horsepower that you get with the thrusters, bow and stern, 38 horsepower on each bow and stern.
And that's consistent thrust because it's hydraulic.
Exactly right. And they're 12-inch diameter, so the amount of water you push is pretty amazing. So there's plenty of control. So driving, in manoeuvring, you just center the rudder and use your thrusters for steerage.
So how much power, like in terms of the thruster lever leverage, how much were you actually utilising when we left the dock just then?
It's the same as manoeuvring a smaller boat in the sense that you always do a little bit of thrust and then wait and see what happens, how the boat reacts.
Yep.
And then you can adjust accordingly. So I went full power on the bow thruster maybe once or twice, and then was just correcting off the dock with the stern thruster.
Fantastic. I'd like to have a go later today, but as I do with every boat, and I think everyone should practice this, you don't test park a brand new boat for the first time in the marina.
Yeah.
You do it out in the open water, understand how the systems react, and then when you're confident of the boat's manoeuvrability and turning circles, that's when you take it into the marina.
Yeah.
So that's what I will do. Right, Blaine, so I got the cameras rolling. What do we need to do to prepare power to the windlass before we prepare to drop?
Alrighty, so I'm just coming into neutral, just coming up to our anchorage here. So I've just started the wing engine and engaged the second PTO. It's not necessary to actually drop the anchor, but it does with this current
We've
here.
got tide.
We can still hold ourselves with the thrusters. So once that PTO's engaged, we can turn our hydraulic windlass on, and then we open our hydraulic control through the thruster system here. So once these three things are on, our windlass control comes on here. So Dan, I'll get you to go up there.
Yep.
With the, you're just going to make sure the brake's off.
Yep.
You might need to give it a little bit of a push over when we let some chain out.
Okay.
And yeah, we're going to be in about 8 metres of water at the moment. We'll try and go in a little bit shallower.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, we'll just go down 3 to 1, hey?
Sounds like a good plan. Okay, Blaine, I got the drone in the air, mate. So when you're ready, I can just take some pressure off the anchor and push it forward.
Copy that. I'm just going to kick her in reverse just to stop my way.
Tell me when you're ready and I'll take some weight off the anchor.
Yep, copy that. We're in 6 metres. We can start dropping the anchor.
So that's brake is off. Okay, that's what we're talking about.
That brake's off.
Running free, anchor is now in the water.
Okay, we've got 9 metres in the water. I'm going to give her a small back down and try and lay the chain out.
Okay, chain still vertical and you're ready to back down.
Okay, I got 22 metres out there. I'm just going to let that come up.
It's just in the process of grabbing now.
Feels like we grabbed there.
Okay, am I good to secure the brake?
I'll just drop another 5 out and then we'll be good.
Copy that, we can lock it off.
Copy. Okay. Secure. Blaine, we've done a test deployment because we wanted to make sure we understand the systems.
Yep.
I noted a couple of 50-foot sports cruisers went by on the plane, putting off decent swell, and it didn't actually interfere with our tender deployment process. Like it didn't rock enough to cause us a problem.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And we don't have stabilisation in.
Yeah.
Or active. Yeah. So that's cool. So run us through the procedure so everyone understands how we do this.
Okay, so with the davit operations, there's down in the lazarette, there's a battery switch for the davit control, which is an independent electric hydraulic pack underneath the forward machinery room. And then we have another davit activation breaker that's in the pilot house. So those are both on. Then we come down to the CT 2500 steelhead davit and plug in our remote here. It's funny, we just commissioned a new Nordhavn down in Melbourne last year and using exactly the same setup. So,
right.
So this is an older boat, but they're still using the same gear because it's so reliable. So now we're going to launch our aluminium tender here, which is a Quintrex 330 Escape, 430 Escape. We've hooked up our two aft lifting points and our forward lifting point around onto the forward eyelet, which is around the bow roller here.
We've taken off the straps and we've stowed them just to keep the decks clean as well.
Yep.
So let me just get the drone a little bit further high in the sky, just in case the boat swings. And then I can put that down there and control the bow.
Okay, so we ready to go, guys?
Ready.
Alrighty, so I will start coming up.
So we've deployed 2 fenders on the port side of the tender, even though this tender has been fitted with some rubber protection. We just figured that seemed logical. And what are you doing there, Blaine? Just explain to everyone.
So I've winched up, and it's a little bit of getting used to get the right angle of the boat.
Yep.
So we don't run into anything, but I'm keeping an eye. I've got Marley down there on the stern line, you on the bow. And it's just a little bit of extension out, luffing down to get it over the side of the boat.
Here's where our fenders might get in the way, but
I'll extend out a bit more. That's almost at full extension.
yep.
Now we're going to come down. Dan, you want to chuck me that line there? I'll just pull that forward.
Yep. I can go behind you.
All right, we're in the water.
Fantastic. And even managed to get the drone in position. So from here, we would essentially just drift the tender back midships, and we can board from midships.
Exactly
That's
right.
the most logical thing. Just control the line.
Yep, just let rope out and let it drift back.
Just let rope out and let it drift back. So if you've got a bit of wind, you've got these forward midships cleats, and you can just take the pressure off it.
Exactly.
So let's hoist it so everyone can see. I'll reposition the drone again because we are swinging on anchor here. I want everyone to try and see what we are doing. And okay.
Okay, I'll come up.
So we do have rubber on the gunnels here, guys, so we're not scratching the boat. If you can see the gunnels touching the boat, we've got fenders out and rubber on the gunnels. We're now in, I would say, 12 knots consistent breeze.
Let me know when you're good to go, Dean.
Yep, I'll get out of the way. And drone looks good.
Okay, you want to hold this bow line for me?
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, coming up. If we just get that bow line taut to keep the bow out.
Boom. Maybe boom down a little bit just to get the boat away.
Okay, we're starting to clear. And you know what I would do here? I would just use a boat hook to control it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's much easier. We couldn't find the bung, guys. If you can see cut water drifting out the back, we're not stupid. We do know. We just couldn't find it.
Okay, now extension in. Marley, you just want to call out how we're lined up there at the back? And sharp.
Yep, the boom down.
Okay, so
come down.
we're on the center line, but we need to move aft.
So we've got a little bit of swell here.
A little bit of swell, boys, from that boat. And here we go. That was a Riv 4000 offshore. And you know what? Oi, that's manageable. Okay, we need to move aft. I thought that was going to be way worse.
Have a look at there, Marley.
Yep, that's not too bad.
On the center line.
Come off a tiny bit. And then right down a bit.
Coming down.
Okay, you're in the chock forward.
Have a look at Marley.
Come a little bit off.
I can push it.
Yep, that's good. Yep.
Okay, and here's where we would now redeploy the straps before we put to sea again and secure everything. And obviously we can stow another tender, of a smaller size and capacity on the starboard side, just there.
Yeah, exactly. Tender, jet ski, all different types of toys.
We could do a single jet ski on this boat, not two up on the bow, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, more like a rescue tender, just beach landing.
A rescue tender. Yep. I mean, look at all that space we have here. I can paste that out now for everyone on the drone. But obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meters. But in terms of usable space, that's what you got there. And then you could put all your surfboards and kayaks. You could even have another rack just there and stow them just in the middle. Happy days. Let's stow this. We'll
Okay.
just leave it running. Let everyone have a look.
Okay, coming down. Okay, so just got to watch the headache ball.
So
Okay, coming up.
after a bit of practice, this could become a one-man operation,
Yeah.
but definitely not on the first go or second go. I think you just need to build the checklist, understand each procedure, because every tender is going to be different. And the other thing, I mean, some of you guys watching the channel might know the iron tenders, or basically any hard plastic tender, fiberglass tenders with hard plastic sides. A lot of those are going to be really suitable for a boat like this. Obviously in Australia, aluminium's a great option because we have crocodiles.
I'll just point this out on headache ball hook there.
Yep. Let me get the drone in so everyone can see.
Which I found is just another small detail. Instead of just having this tight,
Yep.
you can actually stow it away.
Ah. All right.
So that slides in and then locks into place.
Oh, that's sensible.
So it doesn't bash
Yeah.
around in some swell.
But you also then, you don't have unnecessary load on your Spectra, so you're not aging it as fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. They think of all the little things, Nordhavn. Okie dokie, we're going to deploy the Paravane. When you see the full shots after deployment, this is equivalent to like tripling the beam of the boat.
Exactly right. Yeah,
Without a
you're moving
generator.
the stable. Exactly.
Yeah,
You're moving the stabilisation out, so it's technically your boat's that wide.
exactly. I love that. So if you're using this as a mothership and you're going to stay on board for a long time, reduces the power required, and it gives us awesome stabilisation. So we're going to set this up because this probably looks confusing, but it's not too confusing. I'm trying to fly the drone whilst doing it at the same time. Essentially, we've got a pole on either side which we're going to deploy, guys. We've got a fore guy, an aft guy, top guy, and a bottom guy. And the bottom guy, I suppose, that connects to the Paravane. And so what we want to do, I'm going to just make sure.
So that's your forward guy.
That's my fore guy. I'll go and connect this. Okay. All right, so it just connects in here. And then connects there. I think that's right. Actually, when that swings out.
top one.
Top one, there we go. Sorry, because it's going to swivel. Okay, and you can pass me the aft guy. These are just snap shackles, so they go on relatively easily. And mate, if you control the aft guy,
Yep.
I'll just push this out to you. We've already connected the top guy. Deploy that line. You ready if I just push this out to you?
Oh, we need the...
The bottom guy. We do. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So that's connects to the fish.
Yep.
That's the one that connects to the pole.
That's going to connect to the pole. So I'll leave this end here. Okay. All right, so to release this pin, it's actually a screw pin, and you just unscrew it like this. Okay, that's almost out. I've got the weight of the pole on the top guy, but you still want to fiddle with it. So now, okay, that's out, and I'm gonna connect. Make sure that's not all tangled up. Okay, you ready, Blaine, if I push to you?
Yep.
Okay. And you just got to get it past that center point, and then the aft guy takes over. But now, because we've attached this little line here to control the bottom guy, I am now able to keep control of it here. Blaine, you bring over the Paravane. We will attach it, and actually now I'm actually going to take any pressure off because this will be heavy when it goes in the water. It's just aluminium, so it's not super heavy, but let me just check that that's snapped on. Okay, line's clear, drop. And look how it just, you might be able to see through the water, it's just zooming down, and we're running with some tide here at the moment, so it's just working its way into position and then opening up, and it's really working with the tide, and it's now tripling our beam. So let's do the other side. So we've already connected this side. I should just check that the drone's still in the air. Okay, there it is. And all right, mate. You can let me release this line. Okay, release. Awesome.
There is some current.
Oh, there is some current moving. So these are only for stabilisation at rest. If we wanted to proceed down the broad water, we would just lift these, and obviously if there's traffic, we're probably going to
Fold them
ease
away.
off the aft guy and fold them away. But if you're in the ocean, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, you just leave them open.
Yeah. Mate, I love it. It's simplicity at work here. We're not worrying about technology. We're not worrying about generator power. It's just physics. Simple.
You don't get more simple. And it's fun.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, Blaine, so we are proceeding out of the broadwater now, so we're still in flat water, and the next plan for the day is to put this boat in the ocean, and we've actually got some, probably at times, 15 to 20 knots. I'd say 15.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get some decent swell out there as well, just to show the capability of the boat.
It's quite changeable. Now, first thing I note, we're just pottering along. We've killed the wing engine. We've got the main engine on now. You just need to get used to the number of turns for controlling this boat manually, as opposed to doing it with the autopilot. And you just, at these moderate speeds, which is what the boat does, you don't actually need to do lots of correction. You just do little corrections to keep the boat on course, bearing in mind we're fighting a bit of tide here.
Yeah.
So the tide will, because it's full keel, it will want to take over the boat, as opposed to a planing style, which is not going to have that same effect. So we just want to have a good line of sight and keep control if we're driving manually, or we can switch over to the autopilot.
Yeah.
Whilst we're doing this, let's talk about the construction, because you had the manual out a second ago. How thick is this below the waterline?
But so below the waterline, it is over 1.9 inches. So the thinnest part of the boat will be 1.9 inches.
Yep.
The keel itself is up to 3.7 inches of solid fiberglass.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about with the inertia. So like, she's a heavy girl.
Yeah, and like we've just experienced that with the Paravanes and multiple boats. It was actually interesting, a number of big day boats, many of which I feature on the channel, in the 50 to 70 foot range, passing on plane, and I was preparing myself for a lot more aggression than what we actually. The boat just kind of, without the Paravanes, it just sort of just did a little bit of that, hardly noticeable. With the Paravanes, it was just sitting freaking rock solid. And it's just like, oh, is it windy outside?
Yeah.
That's really noticeable. Okay, I'm just going to let him pass on my port side. We should be good on this course. And I can see the markers, red on the right, green on the left, and he's making an obvious adjustment, so we're all good.
And what do we got there? We got only at 6 knots at the moment.
We're running at 6 knots SOG, and we've got 6 meters under the keel. We'll talk about fuel flow when we get out into the ocean, I think, because that's where it's most relevant. You know what? Grab the camera, if you can unclip it. Let's show everyone this owner's tracks, because he's done. I'll hold the camera for you. He has done. Hopefully, it's not too much screen interference. Show the audience where this guy has been. Okay, we're in Australia. This is some serious cruising. New Caledonia, Fiji, Samoa, New Zealand, Tasmania. This is what you use it. Tonga Tapu. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Aeromongo. What the? Anyone who knows how to do that one, please jump in the comments. But that's great. This is what a Nordhavn's all about, and you really, it really does. We'll pop that camera back up. It really does serve as a mothership in many ways. We've been been on the boat for about 7 hours, and we're just having a yarn about how we might use or what missions we would apply to this boat. Obviously, it's the long range, but she just sits so solid and happy.
Yeah.
If you're running fast tenders, this is the perfect mothership.
No, exactly. Like this is definitely the boat that's going to get you there. And then when you're there, you launch your tender, and then you can shoot around and do your activities.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to get used to how she performs a little bit longer, and then we shall proceed from here into the ocean. We'll get the drones up and let's see how she performs on all points. And let's just cruise for an hour or so out to sea.
Yep.
And we'll see what we learn. So we're out in the ocean. As you can probably see, this layout, we've actually got the open lounge, and then we've got the off-watch berth just behind Blaine there. You don't have to have, you can actually have a cabin back here. So that's up to you. And we've just come out of the ocean. We're a mile or so off the coast. There is southerly wind and southeasterly swell, metre and a bit at times. So it is what it is. But we're going to run you through the fuel flow and RPM. Just sitting on 1,000 RPM at the moment, and we are hovering at around about the 5.5 knots SOG, and I can see, call it an 11 litre per hour fuel rate. So we'll just take it up through the rev range, and then we'll put the boat on a few different points just to explain how she feels. I've got the autopilot on at the moment. I may switch over to manual just to see how she feels. We've also got active fin track stabilization, and that is on right now. And yeah, she just feels like a tank. She just feels like a tank. So let's increase. Engine noises minimal. You can hear the engine, but it's very pleasant. You know, it's, I guess the sensation that you get, this seriously is designed for long passengers. So in terms of comfort, we're out of the sun, we're out of the weather, we've got easy access to the decks. Everything is sort of designed for our protection, and that's the sensation you get when you're in here. So I've just come up through 1100 RPM, and I'm seeing 5.9 knots and 15 litres consumption. It's pretty incredible when you're doing these displacement speeds, thinking about the size of boat. You know, we could potentially have 2 speedboats up on the bow there and a bunch of kayaks, and we're hardly using anything. So let's just bump that up. 1200 RPM, almost there, just coming through. Just letting the autopilot do a thing. So now I'm seeing 19 litres. I'm just going to let that settle because it's about 19.5 litres consumption at 1,200 RPM. And I'm seeing a speed return of 6.6, 6.7 through the waves. So I just saw 6.8 there. And that's comfy, guys. That's a distance cruise considering the fuel capacity we have on board. That's why we saw such massive tracks on the computer before, all the way out to the Pacific Islands, because exactly what it's designed for. So that's hovering there at 19 litres fuel flow. So let's just bring it up a little bit more, 1,300 RPM. Noise levels minimal, you hardly notice anything. We've got the swell a little bit on the beam, so this is us and the swell's coming through like this at the moment. You'll see that on the drone shots, but the attitude you'll notice through camera 2. If you're looking through camera 2, line it up against the horizon and you'll see, even though we're up here on the bridge, and so technically we've got weight aloft and we're further aloft, you don't see a lot of movement. That, like, this is comfortable. And we can put that down to more boat in the water. 7.4 knots SOG and a fuel flow of 24 litres. And that's probably going to be a cruising speed for many of you, because you're going to eat up some miles. But we're here to test the boat, so let's put it through a little bit more than that. Okay, just hitting 1,400 RPM. Just going to let that settle. It's a bigger boat, so when you see me testing some of these more sportier day boats, things happen faster on those boats, whereas on a vessel like this, things happen slower. Even when you're steering the boat, you're going to put a turn down on the wheel, and the boat will react in a much more docile way compared to, say, a smaller or a different design boat. So it's just something you get used to. If you've come from sailing, particularly if you've come from a full keel sailing boat, it's going to feel familiar to you. So I'm seeing 29 to 30 litre fuel rate at the moment at 1400 RPM. We're getting a speed return of just shy of 8 knots. So I see 7.9 knots at the moment. No discernible difference in engine noise. It's all just comfortable. And still see 29 knots there. Okay, let's just bump that up again. Let's look at 1500. Okay, so for the extra knot or so, compared to where we were before, the speed is climbing through 8 to 8.2. I saw 8.3 a second ago. We're now up to 36 litres, 37 litres consumption, 1,500 RPM, and I'm seeing 8.3 knots SOG. So we're starting to burn a little bit more fuel relative to our speed, and let's just see how far we can go here. No discernible change in noise, comfortable. I'm still on the autopilot. Okay, 1600. Actually, I'm a little bit over. Let's just drop that down to 1600. There we go. Remember, when you guys are cruising, you're probably going to be doing a lot of your cruising up here. This is what we're doing. Yeah, coffee and sit on watch and chat. This is why I like this design, to be fair, because you can chat with your mates. Okay, I'm seeing 45 litres, 1,600 RPM, speed return of 8.9 knots SOG, and that's consistent at 45 litres fuel flow. So let's just bump that up again. Okay, almost at 1,700 RPM there. The other thing from a situational awareness perspective, dangers close on you at much slower speeds. Everything happens at slower speeds. Yes, we've got much more weight and momentum to think about, so that's more important to think about in a close quarters scenario. It's a massive advantage to us here in the sea. But from your perspective, if maybe when you see me driving some of the planing hulls, there's a high degree of workload on you as the operator when you are planing, because you're watching for dangers, you're watching for traffic, you're watching for stuff in the water, and that can potentially close on you at a much faster speed, particularly if it's another boat under power. It'll close on you on a much faster speed. So you just have to be more alert. A boat like this, things happen slower, so you can relax more. It gives you more time to think, navigate, talk, relax. Okay, so I'm seeing 55 litre fuel flow, 1,700 RPM and 9.1 knots SOG. And we'll just give it, I'd say, the next little bit's probably going to be foot to the floor, but we'll just keep going through the range. 1,800 RPM. Fuel flow's really bumping up now relative to the speed return. I'm seeing 9.4 knots and 66 litres at 9.4 knots, 66 litres. And again, noise levels haven't changed. Everything's just comfortable. Autopilot's doing its thing. And let's just do, okay, 1900. 9.7, 1900, 80 litres, and I think, is that, let's just go flat out. Okay, that's flat out. We're just hovering over 1900 RPM. The fuel flow, I can see now that it's settled 85 to 87 litres. and 9.8 knots SOG. So that tells us the efficient speed is way back down in that sort of 7 knot range. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to deactivate the autopilot and take you into some swells. So yes, you can bump it up to the faster speeds if you want to get home. Okay, back to 1500. Even decelerating happens at a slower rate on this boat. Initially, I'm going to do this course correction with the autopilot, and then I'll go to manual and we'll just feel it. Okay, at 1500, I think we can even slow down a little bit more. Let's go to 1400 and let's just do a course correction into the waves. Okay, things happening slow and steady. Coming into the swell now. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to drive. So stand by, and I want to feel this boat now. Quite a few turns we did this morning when we tested how many turns full lock port to starboard. There are quite a few turns, and I think you just got to get used to how she's going to respond. Here we go. I think I've got the hang of her now. So into the swells. She's just taking like a champ. We've actually got a couple of nice little waves approaching us now of moderate height. That's just relaxing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to turn a little bit more. I'm going to do 90 degrees to port, and we'll put these waves on our beam to starboard. And then we will eventually go down swell. Once I've got the waves on the beam, I'm just going to settle in. Got my rudder angle indicator here so I can see where I am. It is useful referring to it from time to time. But things are happening slowly. There's no rush here. This is actually quite relaxing. Okay, auto, waves on the beams, stabilizers are working, and we're just eating up the miles right now. 7.8 SOG, and we're in the groove. And from here, standby, good visibility all around. Just from a situational awareness point of view, I can see all around from the standing position. This is a boat you could just walk around to either door. So if you need to get better viz before you're coming into a marina berth or whatever you need to do, I would definitely just activate autopilot, leave the helm, and go and have a look around. And now let's just drive down swell and see what these waves are going to do to the hull. Okay. And let's do autopilot. It's all pretty confidence inspiring, to be honest.
It certainly happens at a slower pace.
Yeah, I think it's the idea. Yeah, it's just, it's all about assuming a different mindset when you transition to a vessel like this. This is life-changing boating for a lot of people, because the places you're going to go on this thing are going to be the places you've only ever dreamt of. And once you're there, you've got access to one fast tender, a second functional tender, all of your toys, and as we've just experienced, like with those enabling us to triple the beam, the effective beam of the boat, with the Paravanes, manual stabilization, you can sit on the pick for weeks months if you wanted, if you found your own little spot of paradise. And it's a platform. So those swells are gently rolling underneath us from the stern right now, and the boat's tracking nicely. We've just got a gentle movement, nothing strange. So I'm going to take the helm again and stand by. We'll head south. So I think from here, what we will need to do is transition up to the flybridge, see how that feels. And then we might even check, do an engine room check, because you guys are going to be doing that underway. So I think we should quickly pop down there and explain to you what that's all about. Okay, so I just activated neutral downstairs, took command up here, we got control. And then on this particular boat, we don't have a steering wheel up here. We're just doing it with the autopilot. So again, you just take command up here and then steer with the autopilot. Essentially, it's just a lovely place to be. I like the fixed hardtop up above for our part of the world for sun protection. If you're eating up the miles, this is where you want to be. I think the view's fantastic. Having it open and without clears seems to make a lot of sense. I would just do a little cover over the dash, which I know the boat has, and the upholstery, so it makes life easy for you. So if you want the airflow, if you want the nice tropical vibes, you come up here. If you want to be protected, you just head downstairs. Seems quite logical. But from a visibility perspective, we've got really good viz forward. We are limited to the side and aft, but that's why we have the wing stations, which we've already discovered earlier in the video. So this is really where you want to come and enjoy your passage. And again, even though we are in some swells, I've now got the swells on my port aft and some coming in from another direction actually behind us. It's just comfy. This is where you're really noticing the displacement and the overall weight of this boat is very much more boat in the water than on the water. And it is obvious when we're proceeding along like this, because it's just a comfortable motion. And I think I need to stress, although I know everyone who is a Nordhavn fan will already be on top of this, but I guess I'm talking to those of you who watch my channel who haven't yet discovered trawler boats and this style of boating. It is a mindset shift, and traveling at slower speeds but for longer distances is it's a bit of an awakening, because your area of operations, the places that you can go and discover, just become so much more compared to your previous boat. You obviously need the time to achieve that, but hopefully you do. Okay, Marley is going to take command, and Blaine and I are going to head down and do an engine room check, just simulating being on passage, because there's going to be fuel transfer is going to be necessary, but also just be wise to pop down here I'd be coming down here once or twice a day.
Yeah, well, every couple of hours, really. Yeah. It is good practice. So just with the fuel transfer as well, we do have a port and starboard tank and a forward tank, which are storage tanks. The port and starboard tank are open, the valves are open, and they flow through into the day tank. We can transfer and filter that through a polishing system, which we're doing at the moment. And then we will be able to transfer from the forward tank, which is the largest storage tank, into the port and starboard tank. So that then gives, we'll be able to trim the boat and make sure she's trimmed properly for when we're underway, when we're starting to burn through after long passages. So it's going to be loud in here. We'll put some
hearing protection on.
I hope there's 2 sets.
All right.
There's 1 set.
All right. We can do it without. So, in terms of the fuel polishing.
Yeah, so this is all, so let's just dog that door open, maybe.
Yep, that's locked.
So fuel polishing at the moment.
Yep.
So we've got our port tank and starboard tank.
That's your sight gauge.
These are manual sight gauges, which you can adjust. This is
Yep.
our upgraded day tank.
Yep.
So we've got our side gauge.
Yeah, that's how you can check.
So we're just here. So we are pretty level across all tanks.
Yep.
If we did want to polish our manifold system here, we can transfer, either rotate the own tank,
Yep.
or we can polish while pumping in.
Understood. Okay.
So when we come down for an engine room check, we want to visually check all of the engine.
Yep.
You see the stuffing box.
Yep.
Looks all good.
No surprises. That's what we want to see.
Good.
Having that railing around the motor makes it easy when we are rocking around, even though there's not a great deal of movement. It gives you something to lean on
Exactly, yeah.
to do your thing.
All right, guys, so we're just going to do a little bit of an exploration around the boat so you guys can understand what it's like in different places around the vessel. Hopefully you can just see we do have about 1.5 meters on the beam, and we'll just go forward and take you along with us. Okay, so come on down. So if you did need to come up to the bow for any reason, obviously you're going to be careful in all conditions, but it is doable. We'll actually go this way because I've got my fenders out on port. This one is center line, so we can go port or starboard, but just you've got places to hold on. You feel quite secure moving your way. We'll go all the way down aft, then we'll go to the galley. You can see the conditions. I think possibly one of the best places offshore for chilling out, perhaps on passage, is going to be down here because you're down low and close to the water, well protected. So that's a good spot. You could definitely make drinks here if you needed to in conditions like this, but come on inside. Just let's walk that open. Let's go to the galley. I did put, there's some dressing on this boat. Come on in. See, look, you can see the boat moving, but it's not falling over. I did put this glass, which was some of the boat's dressing from the boat show, in the sink because that would be silly. But just have a look outside the window. You can see some of the swells that are coming through. In terms of an operational perspective or what your life is going to be like, you can, okay, let's open that up. You can definitely do the dishes, make some food, get things in and out of the cupboards here. It's totally possible. There's lots of places to hold on. So if I needed to transit, like you can see the swells right now, if I needed to transit aft, I can hold on here, and then I've got straight overhead here and here, and I can just run my hands like so, and then you can hold on again. So it's quite safe. Let's just go downstairs as well and give you a little appreciation, because you've got places to hold on everywhere. So as we move lower in the boat, you know, you might be coming down to this head. Remember, we do have a day head upstairs, but in terms of moving yourself around in a seaway, you've got enough space, but not too much, so you can kind of protect yourself or slide yourself along. So that's the accommodation on either side, and life's pretty manageable. And then the master, perfectly nice, good views. You could come down here and have a kip, but you've got plenty of options for having a kip. I think possibly the off-watch berth, if you are underway, is going to be the place to do it. And that's going to be up here. So you notice a little bit more movement as you make your way up here. But from a enjoyment perspective, come in here and have a look, Blaine. Oh, this is super cool. We do have this opening window. We get some air in. So communication, you can pull the blind down if you wanted to knock out all the light so we can make this area a little bit dark for a sleep. Actually, I think I feel like asleep right now. It's been an early start. I think maybe I'm just gonna have a nap now and see you guys at the end of the video. Just joking, but yeah, very good. I think from here, we'll head back to the marina, put the boat in the berth, and then give you guys a bit of a wrap up. So maybe that's your end of boat life goal, and good luck to you if it is. But if you're focused on the N68 Nordhavn, I suspect you might be the sort of person who values running a boat yourself with your mates, or running a boat and sort of owning your adventures. Something like this behind me is very much a fully crewed operation, and something like this, it's still a multiple man or woman operation, but you, with the right training and experience, can do it with your mates. I would say 3 competent people can run this boat with ease, and you can drop that number depending on your skill set and depending on how you equip the boat for yourself. I'm talking about cameras, I'm talking about wing stations, I'm also talking about your marina berth, or like where you position the boat around the world, tidal affected, wind affected, etc., etc. So talk to your dealers. That's what these guys are for. Think about all of these questions and talk to your dealers and try and come to a position and a specification that will suit you, because there is no one Nordhavn that will do everything. If you're in the market and trying to find comparisons, I don't think there's anything that directly compares to the global recognition that a Nordhavn has in the trawler market. There's plenty of trawler manufacturers, but what I would say, and go ahead and look at them all, don't be afraid to compare a Nordhavn with a steel boat. All right, pros and cons for both. I know lots of guys who want to head in the steel direction. You can definitely make an argument for longevity, for strength, and also for resale for a fiberglass boat. And when we're talking the sort of thickness that's in one of these, I can understand that thought process. So again, talk to people in your circle that know and ask the questions, because I'm thinking if you are in the market for a serious steel trawler and perhaps you didn't know about Nordhavns, or you never considered a Nordhavn, I would put it on your list and consider a worthy investment of your time. So how does she perform? She's a trawler. Expect 7 knots. Don't expect, 10 knots max. Expect to cruise around at trawler speeds. If you're a sailor, you will be used to that. But if you're coming out of a planing motorboat, I want you to go through the process of reassessing or resetting your mindset and start to think of this as a mothership and something that will take you to those far afield places. Don't think of it as a day boat. And I'm sure you're not thinking like that if you are a serious buyer. I understand you're going to be much more advanced. So I guess I'm talking to the wider audience who are still perhaps also just discovering this world. Weight is your friend, displacement is your friend, stability and having lots of boat in the water rather than on the water is your friend. What do I mean by that? It's less exhausting. So the motion of the vessel at rest and underway is less exhausting. The design of this vessel, down in the pilot house moving around, it's not tiring. If you compare that to lighter, faster boats that react in a different way, you really do notice after a day on the water how your body feels. So if you're wanting to do long adventures and extended journeys, the wear and tear on your body is less on a boat like this. So just consider that. I know some of you are going to be comparing it with catamarans and other adventure style boats. So get out there and test them or watch lots of videos and ask as many people as you can, because there's no perfect boat for everyone. But that's my 2 cents. I hope it was useful. We are going into more detail in terms of the pricing, and you can post questions and I will do video answers in my Patreon channel. Link is down below in the description. Coming to you from sunny Queensland, I'll pop a competing boat up on the screen somewhere for you to have a look for yourself and do your own research. That's what it's all about. See you next time, legends. See ya.